Hey, my name's James Wilkinson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about what happens if your property gets downvalued in a mortgage valuation. Now, that's happening more than ever at the moment, so make sure you watch to the end because I've got some handy little tips of stuff that I've done to make sure you don't come across that kind of issue. Now, this channel is all about my investment journey. I'm currently building out my portfolio, and I'd love you to join us together on this journey. I'm also building a portfolio for my two daughters. I've got Georgia, who's 21. We've just got two properties so far. We've got a house in Doncaster and a flat in Dorking. You can check the videos on this channel on how they are going. And we're building a portfolio for my little baby, Amelie. So take that finger of power, spin it round, guys, smash the subscribe button over there and hit the bell notification because you don't want to miss out on all this crazy good content. So, down valuation. So what is a down valuation exactly? So what will happen is when you're purchasing a property, you might, for example, find one. I've been investing in Doncaster recently. You might look at a property and say, I'll take that for £100,000. So you call the estate agent or the vendor or however you're dealing with it and you say, I'll buy that, £100,000. They agree the price and now you start the process. Now, the next step is that what will happen is a valuer will come round on behalf of the mortgage company. And their job is not to help you out. Their job is to protect the mortgage company. You see, they don't want to have a lot of assets that potentially go in negative equity. So when the market's going up, which it has done for the last 2 years, you can quite often get a good valuation and they will look at the figures and they will look at what you've provided and they're going to look at comparisons in the area. Now, what can happen is they might be forecasting and protecting themselves for a future drop, which is looking more ominously likely at the moment in the market. So they might look at your 100 grand house that you've offered on and say, you know what? I'm only going to offer you £95,000. So now you've got a shortfall of £5,000. So let's just say you're going to buy for 100 grand. Now your deposit on that would have been around 25, right? I'm talking buy to let here, guys, but it doesn't matter, right? If you were going to do this on a residential, then just use 10% numbers. Right, so now they've said, look, it's only worth 95,000. So you're now 5,000 short. Cool. So you've agreed and offered £100,000 on that property. And so that is what the seller wants to achieve. So if you were to still pay £100,000 and it's valued at 95, you're going to have to top up your deposit to make the difference. And now your deposit is going to be £30,000, which isn't a great scenario to be in, is it, guys? And so if you're in that situation, maybe you don't have that £5,000. So here's some things that you can do. First off, you can appeal that decision. And so you can go back to the mortgage company. You can say, look, I don't think it is worth 95. I think it's worth 100. I'd like to appeal that decision. Does that work? Almost never. You see, you're then appealing and you're saying that a professional person, that their job is to value houses, is wrong, and you, the investor, that hasn't valued as many houses as the person that looked around your house, is wrong, right? You're right, they're wrong. It's very unlikely that that's going to go your way. Maybe 10%, 20% of those cases do, but it's not looking good for you. Plus, you might have to pay for a survey again, which could be another 500 quid just to try and save yourself 5 grand. And now you're in a bad situation. Next, you can go back to the seller and say, look, I wanted to buy your house for 100, but it's not worth £100,000. I'm going to be able to only pay you the £95,000 that the market is saying that it's worth. Now, some sellers are very stubborn and will just tell you, I'm not going to sell to you, right? Now, if it was in a rising market, that would be a likely scenario. So if we were looking at 2020 or 2021 and every newspaper saying house prices are going crazy, maybe they'll just try their luck with someone else in the market, right? And they'll put the property back on the market and you'll miss out on that opportunity, right? So now that's another option though, and it's worth trying, right? It's worth trying for sure, because you want to save that £5,000. The other option, which I've had success with at least twice, is where we agree to go 50-50 on that. So we're saying, this guy wanted 100, the bank's saying it's only worth 95. We need to make £5,000 come from somewhere. So what I've done in the past is I've said, look, you pay 2.5 and I'll pay 2.5. So effectively what we'll do is we'll buy for 97,500 and I'll have to increase that deposit, right? That is what you can do as a good negotiator. And that, to a lot of sellers, is a fair result, right? That is a fair result. Now, what else could you do to make sure you don't get in this scenario? So what I like to do when I'm having either a remortgage or a valuation is I look for the comparables myself. I make a nice little document, about 5 or 6 pages. I talk about the house prices in that town. You can get this information from Zoopla or Rightmove, so you could put in Dorking house prices, Rightmove, into Google, and it will come up with the page for you, and it will say the average free like terrace house is worth this, semi-detached are worth this, and you can copy that information into the document to make it easier, because the valuer might value a whole county. Sometimes they do, right? Then what I'll say to that valuer is I'll put some comparables in there. So I'll find the closest comparables that I can, and you can get this data on Rightmove or Zoopla again, so you can look at the sold prices nearby. And you want to find a property that's like for like. So if it's a 2-bedroom terrace house, you're not going to compare it with a 2-bedroom flat. And you put the document in there, you put the links in there, so it's easy for the valuer to justify that valuation, because they might find on the comparisons when they're doing sold prices, they might find ones that are slightly cheaper. So if you can find a mixture and say, look, here's multiple properties of the same caliber, the same refurbishment standard, the same area that have gone for the price close to what you're looking for, you've made their job easier. They might not even look and check all the data out. They might just go with that because they're flooded with applications. And that's happened to me. And in fact, I've tested it more than likely when I put a document in and I've done the work prior and I show I'm competent and I'm not just saying the money that I want to get is just an imaginary number, they're more likely to go with what I say, right? That's a very, very good scenario. So let me know your thoughts on that. So the options are you pay the difference. That means your deposit's going to go up significantly. You go halves. That's an option. You get them to agree to drop the price of the house. That's another option. And we're saying make a document before you even get to this stage. Get some comparables. Give them the document at the time. Don't push it down their throat. Just say, look, I got this. Maybe this will help. Very, very soft. That's it. I hope you found that useful. Let me know if you had a down valuation. What did you do? What worked? What didn't work? Comment below. I'd love to know. Do like this video, guys. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Give it a quick like over there. And we're going to be running a live event very, very soon. I'd like to invite you to that live event. A ticket is very easy to get. All you need to do is click in the description and put your name and email address in there. And then you'll get all the details sent to you via email as soon as those tickets are out. So go and do that now. And while you're here on my channel, check out all the other content that I've got, including this video right here. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.